What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Sports Betting Edge podcast brought to you by OddsJam.com. My name is Anthony Cervino. Follow me on Twitter at The Real NFL Guru. Follow the show at OddsJam.com, OddsJam on social media, OddsJam on YouTube. You can find us on all of the top social media and podcast platforms. And what I'm going to do today, I'm going to take an early look at the NFL slate for Week 7 using the tools over at OddsJam. And what I'm going to do, as always, I'm going to pull up my other screen with OddsJam on it so you can see exactly what I am looking at. So let's go ahead and do that right now. For those of you getting this in podcast format and you can't see what I'm doing, I advise you to go to the OddsJam YouTube channel, check out the video version of this show, check out all of the other great videos at OddsJam. Let me tell you something, like, these guys are amazing. They have changed my outlook on sports betting. I say this every episode for a reason, because I'm being 100% real with you. It is making me a more profitable sports bettor. It's not just fluff. It's all legit. Like, using mathematics to get an edge over the sports book. Like, I'm not a math guy, but I am understanding it more and more. And the more of the OddsJam content that I'm consuming myself, I use my own handicapping skills. I put it all together with the plus EV betting, and we have almost a daily profit. And that's something really awesome that you should be taking advantage of by becoming a member of the OddsJam family. So let's pull up this screen that I'm looking at. And really, like, I live with the EV screen, the positive EV bet screen up on my phones, my laptop, in my home office studio. It's really the first thing I look at if I wake up in the middle of the night. You never know when these bets come up. It might sound crazy, but, like, this is, you never know when an opportunity is going to pop up, especially a terrific opportunity. And, before we get into NFL, let's hit this button here and let's sort and see what the highest plus EV wager is. And there's one for tomorrow night. Raptors, Wizards, and NBA props. NBA season begins tonight. We have NBA, game props, player props, everything you can think of, NBA, NHL, all the major sports. They're all happening right now at once, and they're all featured at OddsJam. It's really amazing. So this 8.37% return on the Raptors, Wizards, player rebounds, total, Spencer Dinwiddie, over 4.5, under 4.5. The profitable mathematical wager here is on the under 4.5, minus 155 at Pinnacle, the sharpest bookmaker in the world, minus 110 at DraftKings. You got another one under that for tomorrow night in the same game. Player points, Daniel Gafford over 11.5 is the play at a 7.26 return. So what I'm going to do now, let's go to the odds tab. Let's go to football, because this is a football-centric show. And as we get into NBA season a little bit more, I'll be doing some NBA content. We got some baseball tonight that, really terrific baseball boosts that you can find over at DraftKings. They have it. This is the second day in a row they're doing the Boston Strong boost. It hit last night, and it's for the Red Sox to hit 2 home runs. Like, they hit 2 home runs in their sleep. Like, this boost is going to most likely hit again tonight. And I went to put a nice hefty wager on it. I was limited down to $51. I have a $100 free bet at DraftKings, and they wouldn't let me use it. So, yeah, you can get limited. I know Alex always, when he does his videos on here, he talks about being limited. It happens to everybody. If you're profitable, you're going to get limited. OddsJam is no joke. They say in the betting world, it's a good thing to be limited. I don't really think so, because I want to be able to place as much as I want. But if you are allowed to place as much as you want, that means you're probably not a profitable sports bettor. So let's go to the football tab. And we have the Thursday night game. We have all the college action for Thursday night mixed in on 10/21. And here we are. The Cleveland Browns versus the Denver Broncos. We have the money line. So let's see where the profitable wagers are. And we're going to take a look and see, well, where's the best line? We have the OddsJam line here. We have the Pinnacle line here. Denver's the underdog. And I don't know about that. The Cleveland Browns, they're one game away from, this is a team that was expected to be really good this season, and it's really not working out that way, especially early on. They were, in the top 5 in a lot of power rankings to open the year. It's not really working out through the first 6 games. The Cleveland Browns right now are sitting at a 3-3. They lose on Thursday night. They're one game under 500. And here we go. This same old Browns conversation is going to come out. Baker Mayfield's banged up with the shoulder. We don't know if he's going to play. We think he's going to play. Apparently, per reports, the decision is up to Baker Mayfield. Too significant. Now, the Browns are a run-centric team. Like, really a run-centric team. And both of their top running backs, Nick Chubb, already ruled out. Kareem Hunt injured his calf on Sunday. He's already ruled out. So a Cleveland Browns team who are number 1 ranked in team running plays per game, 32.3 at a 1.88 pace. They're down their 2 top running backs. Expect a heavy dose of Dearness Johnson. Not saying he can't get the job done, but a team that relies on the run, losing their top 2 backs, who were 2 of the best NFL running backs in the league. You go against the Denver Broncos, a really good defense. I don't know. Like, where I would be looking to bet this game, right? Cleveland. Look at this. They're a pretty good favorite here, but you can go look at Denver. Like where's the play here? Pinnacle at plus 150. Look at all these other books, 145, 135, and you keep going down the line. You see Score and you see win bets with the Denver Broncos at plus 155. I'm not a big Teddy Bridgewater guy, but Teddy Bridgewater is healthy, and he played well in the first couple of games of the year, obviously struggling against the better teams. But again, this is a Cleveland Browns team. Down their top 2 running backs, and they have a quarterback who's a little bit banged up, an erratic receiving core led by Odell Beckham Jr. Finally showed up a little bit last week, but like, he's really, really hit or miss. He's not the same guy from the New York Giants. I don't know if it's Baker. I don't know if it's system. I don't know if it's Odell Beckham Jr. more concerned about his Instagram page. But this isn't exactly the team that we thought we were going to get out of Cleveland. Now, what's good for the Browns, that it is a home game. And if I look at where's the movement here? Let's look at, let's see. I'm going to try to see where the money's going here on my some of my analysis websites. And it looks like against the spread, the team money leaders have this going, the 58% in favor of the Browns, the public 63% in favor of the Browns. Let me tell you something. This might be one of those games where I fade the public and err on the side of the underdogs and the Denver Broncos. The over-under here, even this. Now, the total on this game, we are looking at right around 42. This game should go under, and 42 is a really low number, but I'm probably going to lean the under here. These are 2 of the best defensive teams in the league. You can exploit Denver's talented secondary. They're really good. There's a lot of talent, but they can be exploited. But this isn't exactly the greatest passing attack that Cleveland's going to throw out at you. Cleveland, in terms of, they're the number 1 rushing team in the league. They're 26th in passing. That's a huge variance. And the number one rushing team down their two top backs, facing a Denver defense that's sixth in fewest rushing yards allowed, ninth in fewest passing yards allowed, second in Denver's defense, fourth in fewest. I was reading off what Cleveland's D does, but Denver's defense, fourth in fewest rushing yards, 11th in fewest passing yards, fourth in fewest total yards, and fourth in fewest points. Now, I just read off Cleveland. They're sixth fewest rushing yards, ninth fewest passing yards, second fewest total yards. But what's the difference here? Cleveland's defense gives up the 22nd. They're 22nd in points. We have a Denver defense that gives up 18.3 a game, and then a Cleveland defense that gives up 25.2. So one defense, Denver, bend but not break. Cleveland's defense that ultimately breaks. I'm going to tell you something here. Look at the money line. I'm going to probably end up going to win bet as long as these odds stay the way they are, and there's a good chance that they can shift in favor a little bit more of the Denver Broncos. I would jump on this ASAP. I think this is a realistic chance that the Denver Broncos can come out and win this game outright. I'm going to go to the point spread here. If you don't trust the Denver Broncos to win it outright, let's go take a look at the point spread. We can go on this OddsJam tool. We scroll down and find where these lines are at, the main lines, and you'll see them highlighted. So the main lines here, we have the Cleveland Browns giving 3, Denver getting 3. Then we have 3.5, giving 3.5 and getting 3.5. If you don't trust Denver and you don't want to lay the money to to see them win outright, the Broncos getting 3 points. Well, where's the play here? Barstool at -110, FanDuel -104. The play is over at Fox Bet. You can get Denver getting 3 points at +100 odds. Everywhere else has minus odds on the side. And then if you go Denver +3.5, obviously, they're all in the minuses across the board. But if you think this could be a game where Denver's going to win outright, but you don't trust it and you want to protect your money, you want to back yourself in case there's a push, then Denver getting the 3 points is absolutely positively the way to go. I like Denver getting the 3. I like Denver money line. Let's go to the total odds here now. So let's go total points. Let's go to the main line. And we have the 42 over-under and the 42.5 over-under. So where's the play here? If you're trying to get it at 42.5 because you want to give yourself a little bit more protection, you'll get slightly better odds. If you like the under and it goes, under 42, you'll get slightly better odds. But I don't hate the odds at 42.5. It's not like you're giving up a ton. And across the board, really, you could find 110 almost everywhere outside of, it looks like, DraftKings, Bet Online, and then obviously the OddsJam Pinnacle spread is -115. So you're getting slightly better odds, not a ton better odds, going the under 42.5. Now, if you like the over, OddsJam and Pinnacle has this at +101. Here's a mathematically profitable wager. If you go this way here, and see where, if you wanted to grab the over at -110, obviously -115, -110, -105. Again, I would prefer betting the under on this game. I don't expect there to be a lot of offense. I would have a different opinion if Cleveland was playing with a full deck in terms of, their running backs, which is the most important part of their offense. Now, a little bit more injury news to talk about on the Cleveland side. The rookie Owusu-Koramoah, one of their top rookies from this year's draft class, a hybrid defensive player, can do a little bit of everything. Dealing with an ankle injury, he is out indefinitely. Is there anything else of significance that just popped up in the past couple days? It looks like a lot of questionable tags, but these guys like OBJ, he's going to be out there. So they're the most significant ones. Obviously, Baker's probable, but you never want to see a quarterback dealing with a shoulder injury. Denver side, they're more or less healthy. A couple of guys probable and questionable, but these guys are most likely going to play. Obviously, Bridgewater, Fant, their top-end tight end, Melvin Gordon. These guys at this point of the year, they're never really going to be healthy again. You're going to see them on the injury report a lot, but I expect all of Denver's top guys to be out there with the exception of Jerry Jeudy, who is eligible to return from IR, but it's not going to be this week. So the best play on this game for me, I would go Denver to win outright. Sure, it's a little bit risky, but that's where the profit is going to be. Again, what did I say? Plus 155 odds if Denver wins outright. And then if you want to get Denver into 3 points, getting the 3 points, the odds aren't exactly terrible. They're not great, but they're not exactly terrible. The 3.5... or the 3, you can get plus 100 at Fox Bet, 3.5, not as great, minus 120 at DraftKings and really everywhere else across the board. Outside of that, I did want to break down this Thursday night football game a little bit. I don't know if you want to take a look at some. We have a couple of minutes left. Let's take a look at maybe some player props here. Let's take a look at, let's go to... receptions are always good ones that you can find plus EV bets on. So let's go take a look at total receptions and see if we can get ahead of the game a little bit. And the main ones, Courtland Sutton, Javonte Williams, Melvin Gordon, Fant, Tim Patrick. The ones that I see the most, like almost every week, I'm always seeing Javonte Williams. Once in a while, we'll see Melvin Gordon. I don't know if I've ever seen Noah Fant, but certainly Tim Patrick. Tim Patrick's plus EV bet under 4.5 receptions last week cashed. This week, they moved the lines down. Now that Denver's getting a little bit healthier, they signed and activated John Brown, the veteran speedster on the outside. So he's on the active roster now. So they kick down Tim Patrick's total. So he has a rapport with Teddy Bridgewater normally. So the under at 3.5, I like that 4.5 better than the 3.5. So I might take the over here, but these bets aren't exactly great. Minus 120 when Pinnacle's giving you minus 123. Let's see if there's any really good values here. Yeah, not a ton. Like Courtland Sutton's under 4.5. I would totally punt that because Courtland Sutton, he's their primary wide receiver, primary possession wide receiver. He gets targeted early and often from Teddy Bridgewater. Javonte, he's a player now who's been getting more and more involved as the season goes on. He's a second-round rookie. The team traded up to get him, which means he's ultimately going to take over this backfield for the Denver Broncos. Denver, I think there's a big-time chance, and I've been saying it all offseason, Melvin Gordon's in a walk year. They signed Mike Boone as a free agent. Mike Boone is now healthy and off IR. There's a good chance. Why not? If they can move Melvin Gordon to a contender, by the trade deadline, all of a sudden Javonte Williams is going to be the primary running back. There's a chance that happens. And the proof is in the pudding. We are starting to see a little bit more work out of Javonte Williams. He's been getting work all season, but especially the past few weeks as a receiver out of the backfield. This guy has seen at least 3 targets a game in the past 4 games, and he's caught exactly 3 receptions a game in the past 4 games. So we go look at this over-under of Javonte Williams. Reception is set at 2.5. This thing hits every week, and the probability of this hitting again, you can get again, the odds aren't great. Plus 144 at Pinnacle. This isn't a great bet, but I would still take it. Like, I wouldn't go to the under. Like, everybody's pounding the under here, and I don't really understand why. because this guy, Javonte Williams, has hit this bet at 2.5 every single week in the past 4 games. I think it happens again. You can get plus 140 odds across the board at your choice sportsbook. So, again, not exactly the best bet, but plus 140, you can't do much worse. Let's see, the Melvin Gordon over 1.5, minus 160. The under, I'm not touching this. You can take the over here on Melvin Gordon. He's not as involved in the passing attack as Javonte Williams. Javonte is just, I believe he's just taken over this backfield when it's all said and done. But you could take this bet at over 1.5. Melvin has hit it in 5 out of the 6 games this season. They like to throw the ball to their running backs, especially Teddy Bridgewater, who can be a captain check down a lot. But at minus 160 odds, I might wait a little bit and see if they get any better before I take this wager. I just don't see any point of taking the under 1.5. Like at the plus 120 odds, the probability of it hitting is extremely low. Yeah, even looking over here, not exactly, 1.5. Again, I don't know if I would take this bet unless you want to go heavy at minus 160 odds. There's a high probability it hits, but the value is on Javonte Williams over under of 2.5. We talked about this Tim Patrick one, minus 120 at DraftKings and Caesars. Minus 110 on the under. I'm probably going to fade this one because it could legitimately go either way. Normally, it goes over. 4 is like his sweet spot because he's not exactly the go-to receiver unless everybody else is hurt. He's more of the big play speedster. And again, now with John Brown in the mix, things can get a little could get a little bit crowded with those big plays. So 4 is about that sweet spot for Tim Patrick, but it wouldn't surprise me now that John Brown is in the mix that 3 happens. So I'm going to fade this Tim Patrick. I don't have a gut feeling or a number to back up either way. I think it legitimately can swing either way, and these bets aren't good enough for me to take at this moment. Now, Noah Fant, extremely heavily targeted in this offense. He's dealing with a foot injury. There's a good chance that he is going to play, but since he's dealing with the foot, he could always end up getting banged up and leaving the football game. Now, Noah Fant, normally, 3.5, he gets this almost every game. All but 2 games, he would have hit this bet. So why is it so low? He's coming off of a 9-catch game. He has 6 catches in 2 of his past 3 games. So why is it so low? Maybe it is the foot. Like, what if he gets banged up during the game and he misses the rest of it, and then he has 3 catches and the bet hits? This happened over the weekend. I had the Dawson Knox total. I had the under on his receptions. He breaks, I believe, a finger in Buffalo's Monday night loss, and because he left the game and did not return, I ended up hitting that bet. Now, that was more of a fluke in-game injury. Noah Fant is going into this game with a foot injury, so I think these odds are factoring in the possibility of Noah Fant leaving this football game. But that's going to do it. I talked about the way I'm leaning for this Thursday night game in terms of, where am I going to bet this most likely? And like I said, I'm most likely going to bet the Denver Broncos to win. Now, could something happen? Could we see Baker Mayfield, a report on Baker Mayfield where like, hey, he's feeling fine? Yes, but he's dealing with the shoulder. I do think he plays, but this is another injured guy going into a game. He's 1 hit away from whoever the hell their backup quarterback. It might be still Case Keenum coming in, and I don't know if I'm going to really trust Case Keenum. So with all of the factors, I could lean and easily see the Denver Broncos either winning this game outright or covering the spread. So take Denver money line at plus 155. If you don't want to trust them to win outright, I'll keep saying it. Get Denver getting the 3 points. That might be the way to go and bet this football game. I like the under because both of these defenses are really good. What Cleveland does the best better than anybody else running the football. They're now down their top 2 running backs. We're going to see a heavy dose of Dearness Johnson with an injured Baker Mayfield on the offensive side of the ball going up against one of the better defensive units in the league in the Denver Broncos. I smell an under 42.5 points if you want to get it. Under 42, I would probably bet it at 42.5 just to be a little bit safe, but the under is probably the way to go. We know these Thursday night football games, they can go either way. This season, we have been seeing quite a few unders hit this year already. We saw the same type of a trend last year as well. So take the under in this football games. And as far as these player prop reception totals, the one I'm really targeting, the biggest value of all of them is Javonte Williams over 2.5. You can get plus odds on that, and he has had 3 receptions in each of his past 4 games. Now, the Melvin Gordon over under 1.5. It's minus 160 odds, I believe, across the board. It's an easy bet. He'll probably hit it. He's hit it, I believe, in what did I say? 4 or 5 out of the 6 games he's played. But the more profitable wager is on Javonte Williams, and they both have the same probability of hitting. So if you had to choose one, go with Javonte Williams. And as far as Tim Patrick, I'm not really touching that right now because of the uncertainty of how they're going to use him and John Brown at the same time. And once Jerry Jeudy comes back, forget about it. We could probably kiss the value or any value that's left of Tim Patrick goodbye for a little while. But this was another terrific episode of the Sports Betting Edge podcast. I'll be coming back probably tomorrow to talk some more football. But until then, good luck if you have any wagers going tonight on the NBA, on baseball. I know I have the Red Sox game covered pretty heavily. Let's go Kiki Hernandez, the Red Sox, the over. Let's hope for a ton of home runs, 3 runs minimum on each side. A lot of action in that game. If you have it, good luck. If you don't, go find the home run boost that I believe they're at Caesars and DraftKings right now. Go get into that action because they are almost a lock to hit, especially 2 and 3 home runs at Caesars, 2 Boston home runs alone at DraftKings. Absolutely amazing boost, really high probability of hitting. I've cashed on them. I've been cashing on the Kiki Hernandez total base, 1.5 over total base props that you're getting plus odds on. This dude hits him in his damn sleep. And they're also plus EV bets that you could find over at OddsJam.com. Good luck tonight in your games. Good luck if you are betting the Thursday night football game. Let's lean the Denver Broncos getting the 3 points or outright. Until tomorrow, my name is Anthony Cervino. Follow me on Twitter at The Real NFL Guru. Follow the show at OddsJam. We can be found at all the top social media and podcast platforms. We'll see you later.